Hey everyone, good and lovely afternoon. It is me, Jasmine. How are you folks doing? It is a really nice sunny day today. I got home about 30 minutes ago. I was out and about and I also got me lunch. I had Mexican food today. Let me tell you, I ate a lot. That was pretty good, the restaurant that I went to. So I also just made me a cup of coffee, my second for today. I typically try to just stick to just one cup, but I feel like a second one, especially after a big meal. So I figured I would just do a quick chit chat video um, before I jump on a call. Give me a second. What is this one? So I'm sitting right in front of my computer, my computer right here, and I have this cell phone propped on a tripod. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So I've been so busy lately. Busy just taking care of work on my computer. Oh, this thing is too hot. I also have a cup warmer, or I wouldn't even call it a warmer, more like a heater, because at its highest setting, I mean, the cup gets really hot, which is really nice. And sometimes I so I have this big coffee mug right here, and when it gets to just slightly below the center line, halfway I will lower the temperature because it gets really hot, which is good. I mean, especially come winter. I've also been watching a lot of YouTube stuff, and there's a particular YouTube situation that I want to talk about. I have a feeling that I forgot something. Oh, and I'm also debating. I'm debating doing YouTube live stream. Now I've done live streams before, but here's what's kind of new. Oh, I'm not gonna say it's really new, but it's been around for a while. But it's enticing enough that I think I may start doing live streams. Now I did a few live streams on my very old channel. It's not really my thing. I much prefer just pre-recorded and then uploaded, do the necessary edits and upload. But YouTube has a new setting. Now if you see me looking here, it's because I have my flat screen right here. But that camera is kind of like slightly raised up. So if you see me looking like this way, I'm just looking at my screen. So YouTube has a new streaming. YouTube has a new feature where if you go live directly, if you do a live stream directly from the YouTube app, basically YouTube treats that live stream almost the same as like scrolling through TikTok videos, even Instagram feeds, or even Facebook. What does Facebook call it? Facebook Reels. So basically, you can watch a live stream on YouTube, and if you wanna check another live stream, you simply just swipe up. And what the good thing about that, there's good and bad. The good thing about that is basically allows for, I guess the way I see it, faster channel discovery. So the way the live streams have been they typically have been is, you would go live, right? But really, those that really that get a chance to see your live streams, the exposure, so to speak, as was largely limited to just those who were subscribed to you, or those who managed to get on the algorithm uh, um, boost and got discovered. But for the most part, it was really just you were just live streaming to those who are already subscribed to you. But now, even if somebody's not subscribed to you, when they're browsing through, somebody may stumble upon your live stream, right? And voila, you get a small bump in your viewership, your subscription. And I will occasionally, like when I'm watching a live stream, I will occasionally, just flick through just to see who's live and so forth. And the people that I see are people that some are, I would say probably like 60-40. 60% of the time they're people I'm subscribed to. 40% of the time they're just like random vloggers, random YouTubers. And that's another good way to get discovered on YouTube. So I figured I would do that, but I just have to figure out a setting. Like, would I go, because I want to do everything on my phone, but if I'm going to stream on that phone. So the way the YouTube live stream works, and I'm not sure if it has changed. YouTube much prefers that you live stream in vertical mode, but that's not how I like to do things. I like to record videos, and when I go live, I want to do that in horizontal mode. I don't like the vertical mode. And now the bad thing about that new YouTube system is the comment section, the chat section. It's before and I mean it's if you're using like a third-party streaming system like StreamYard, then the new YouTube vertical streaming mode, it turns off. It does not work. But if you're using a third-party program, and I much prefer that way. And in that old system, you can see the comments. Everything it would be like a white background, and the comments are in black font, and so you could see everything. But with the new system, with the new YouTube update, the new what do you call this interface, you only see like 2 or 3 comments at a time, and that is really annoying. Oh, this coffee tastes so good. So I do have when I make my coffee, obviously I'll do the regular coffee, caffeinated and all. But if let's say for example, like after my second cup, if I decide to have another cup of coffee, it's definitely going to be decaf. And it's not because I still need coffee, it's just I like the taste of coffee. I like to enjoy a nice cup of coffee. But if I were to have like a third cup, a caffeinated, oh, forget it. I would probably, I don't know. I would probably just open the door and just run 5 miles nonstop. Because when you drink too much coffee, you get too much caffeine in you. You'll start like trembling and all of that stuff, and I just don't want that happening. Anyway, so let me talk about what I saw on YouTube. Oh, give me a second, real quick. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I just had to take care of something on my other phone right there. So I was watching something on YouTube, and even though it's like it happened on YouTube. Correction. Even though it started on YouTube and it got taken offline, it's still, it's a good lesson for everyone. So, hold on, let me take another sip. Oh, that Mexican food was really, really good. There was also a line. Oh, how was so I know it's July 5th. Anyway, even though yesterday was July 4th, it's still, I guess it's still okay to say happy Independence Day. So for those of you that did the fireworks and everything, I hope that you had a safe I hope you had a safe fun time. Is this microphone okay? I have my microphone right here. So I did catch some of the fireworks. I did not go to like the show fireworks shows that are advertised, and like at the park or at the beach or whatever. None of those, none of the big ones. But this time every year, there's, I mean, obviously everyone's doing fireworks, but there's a particular area not too far from here where some folks go to and they do the fireworks because it's out of, like, there's a clearing, a really nice clearing. And so I had a nice walk, and then I just saw some of the fireworks. Now I do feel sorry for the dogs. Like every July 4th and also every New Year, I feel so sorry for the dogs because dogs don't react very well to the booms, the fireworks, basically the explosion. And so I always, like, every time there's fireworks, one of the first things in my mind is oh, the dogs. I feel so sorry for them. So I hope that everyone had a pleasant, memorable, and enjoyable July 4th. Also, I know there's like a heat wave going on around the country, so please take care of yourself. I know that it's nice and sunny outside. There's a nice breeze, but it's still slightly warm, warmer than I would like, than I would typically like. But even on the hottest day where I live, it's still nothing compared to other parts of the country. Like where I live, even in the hottest, there are some parts of the country that would die just to get a hot day that we experience here, because it actually would be a cool day where they're at. Let me see. So wherever you're at, please be careful. If you're in like Arizona, Nevada, Texas, Oklahoma, please be careful out there. All right, so what I saw on YouTube. So, and this is in an area of YouTube called the beef sector. There are many different, communities slash sectors, however you want to characterize such areas. There are many of these areas on YouTube, and that's one of the beautiful things about YouTube is through the wonders of networking, interacting with other YouTubers, big and small. You eventually form communities, and on YouTube, you have the mukbang community. You also have a carpentry community, the green thumb community. What do I call this? The exercise community, the drama community, makeup community, the beef sector. So there are a variety of communities, and I'll chime in here and there, and also, of course, I still watch the beef sector. In the past, I would comment, I would chat, I would interact, but I reached a point where I decided that I'm just going to be 100% a spectator. I was not going to leave messages of support and so forth and so forth, which is typical of if you watch a YouTuber and you want to show support, it's typical to leave a comment. Hey, I just letting this was a great video, a great live, etc. Keep it up, that kind of stuff, pleasantries and so forth. Now there are some YouTubers that I will leave comments, but they're not necessarily in any kind of community, in any kind of sectors on YouTube. They're just everyday. Like, that's how I count myself. I don't see myself as in I'm in this community, I'm in that community. No, I'm solo dolo. I just do my videos and I upload them. So I don't count myself in any communities. But anyway, it's not to stretch that a particular line of thought. So let me go back to what I saw. So in the beef sector, you know, two YouTubers, and that's pretty common with YouTube, is, you know, once you start networking, sometimes folks will take these conversations that take place online, or rather on YouTube, and take them take them offline or to a different platform. Sometimes they'll take them on Instagram and start doing the direct messages, or Facebook, or Twitter, or now X, or TikTok, or what have you, or text messages. So these two YouTubers took this fledgling YouTube friendship offline, and they started, you know, talking to one another over the phone and so forth. And they planned to meet together in Los Angeles for a Cardi B concert, which just ended, which I think it was last week. Don't quote me on, well, let me see here. It was sometime last week. Let me see here. Cardi B Los Angeles concert. Okay, that was so that was June 28th. So that was last month. Friday. That was his last Friday. So they planned. They did all of this planning. One YouTuber by the name of, I'm just gonna say, because so when I'm doing my commentary like this, I typically try not to hold on. I typically try not to send people. I typically try not to, sorry, I have 5 phones like right here. And so if you see me look down every now and then, I gotta take care of whatever is blaring in front of me. So when I do my YouTube commentary, and it's commentary about, you know, other entities, other parties, I typically try to avoid directing people that way or this way, meaning like I typically try to avoid sending people to other channels and so forth, because that's one of the ways BS starts on YouTube. I've been on YouTube long enough to know the you know, the small things, the nuances. So for this commentary, I'm just going to say, how would I name them? Okay, I'm going to name them by the cities. So for this particular, so what happened here is, one person lives in Detroit and the other lives in Virginia. Now I'm going to name them Detroit and Virginia. So Detroit and Virginia planned a trip to go to Los Angeles to go see Cardi B. And they did all of this planning behind the scenes. Now, they're both YouTubers, not big YouTubers. I mean, like, it's a few thousand subscribers here and there. And they're both in the beef sector. And the beef sector is basically, you would have like a few dozen or so of, you know, YouTubers that make up basically like the main actors, if I could characterize the channels that way. Then you have tens of thousands of people, collective subscribers underneath. So Detroit, his subscribers, and Virginia, his subscribers. I just got reminded of, what's that movie where the actor was the aliens accidentally or rather started calling him Virginia. Let's Oh, that was actually a good movie. John Carter. Oh, that was a funny one. So Detroit. Okay, you have Detroit here and Virginia. The people that subscribe to each of them are basically, they're both subscribed to one another, and these same subscribers are also subscribed to the other dozen or so YouTubers that make up the beef sector. So I just wanted to paint that picture out there. So basically, everyone knows everyone. Everyone watches everyone, so to speak. So they took this conversation offline and they planned to go to Los Angeles to meet Cardi B. Well, Virginia, and again, they all did all of this online, outside of the YouTube street, so no one was aware. Then, like, I think the 26th or the 27th, lo and behold, Virginia shows up in Los Angeles, talking about the Cardi B. He's going to be attending the Cardi B concert the next day. This and that, and they're at a hotel. They got a car rental. Well, Detroit he never pulled through with his side of the agreement. He was still in Detroit, and and so that basically left Virginia all alone. This guy Virginia all alone in Los Angeles to, I guess, go enjoy Cardi B concert by himself, but something like that. And the reason why I'm bringing this situation up is, I guess I just wanted to to say, listen, if you're going to, well, for starters, if I have never met you in person, chances of me going on a trip with you are incredibly slim to most likely none. Now, if it's I understand on YouTube, when you start networking with other YouTubers, you may not have seen, or you may, up to that point you've never seen them in real life. But when you see them in a video, yes, that can play with your judgment, your emotions, your trust level and so forth. And it is easy to establish a connection with somebody that you see on a video. Let's say if you're a YouTuber and you start networking with another YouTuber, it's very easy to fall into those types of stuff. But if you're gonna plan a trip with someone, I mean, especially in a situation like that where you've never met somebody, if I meet a YouTuber, if I start networking, or rather, let me reverse it. If another YouTuber starts, sharing my videos and if we find ourselves networking, and the other YouTuber says, hey, such and such and such, there's an event happening in New Mexico, in what do you call this, in Texas. Let's go, let's go check out this event, this concert, whatever. For me to agree to something like that, I would have a minimum, an absolute minimum. Now, let's say I've never met you, but if the event is so enticing, for me to agree to something like that, at minimum, I have to see what kind of content have you done. There has to be enough content you have done. Preferably, basically, commentary, opinions, type of stuff, because I want to get a sense of who you are, what kind of a person you are. And I like to think that I can read people pretty good, even if I don't even if I don't react to what I see. In the back of my head, I've already analyzed the heck out of you, and make the proper judgments and determinations and so forth. And this and over the years, I've come to see my how I analyze individuals. I've come to see myself as a pretty good uh, uh, um, reader of people. Um, I have to see. I will look at some of your content, and I'll look at your thoughts, how you dispense your thoughts, your inflections. I look at even the tiniest of things from your expressions and all that. I look at the all of that, and I punch them into some sort of a calculation, and that informs me. Okay, do you look like somebody that? Okay, you're not going to kill me when we meet at Texas or whatever for this concert, whatever. So you have to have enough content on your channel for me to kind of get a sense of who you are, what makes you tick, so to speak. But even at that, I mean, anyone can put up an entire front on YouTube, so you still have to be very, very careful. But the other situation with that YouTube story is Detroit. So that's over now, and basically Detroit was attacked for what he did. He was attacked by a lot of people because he made all of these plans with Virginia. They were supposed to go to Los Angeles. Virginia pulled through with his side of the planning, spent money, but Detroit never budged, never picked up a finger to do anything. And what infuriated a lot of people even more was when this all came out, because Virginia was in Los Angeles and he started live streaming, like, hey, I'm here in Los Angeles, and so forth and so forth. So what happened after that? Detroit then got on his channel and started asking people for money. I think it was asking for like a minimum $1,000 or so forth, asking people for money so he can catch the next plane, the next flight out to Los Angeles to meet with Virginia. And people were asking, like, wait a minute, you were planning to go there. That people would naturally assume that you would already have the funds to go on a trip. Why are you begging for money now? If you did not have the funds, or you never planned to go, then why did you string Virginia along? Now I have to say this, and now I'm going to put this in the most diplomatic of way. This Virginia person that flew all the way to Los Angeles, bless his heart, he is a very kind, sweet, honest, pleasant person, but also a simpleton in some way. I think he was just too trusting of Detroit. He could not, like, something like that. If I'm gonna go on a trip with somebody, you better believe it, I would have a laundry list of things that I would check mark just to make sure that everything goes right, and I will make sure come hell or high water, I will get confirmation from you that you're going. You bought a ticket? Show me your ticket. All of that stuff. You booked the room? Show me that reservation confirmation. Anyways, so basically, a lot of people in this area of YouTube started getting mad at this guy, Detroit. for what he did, the stunt that he pulled. And I think so. So Virginia did go to the Cardi B concert, and met someone there. They linked up, made a new friend. Now he's back in Virginia, and if I'm not mistaken, I think they're actually planning a trip. Oh dear, they're planning a trip, and I think they're planning a trip. They're planning a trip somewhere, and I think it's if it's not, is it to Chicago or they're planning a trip somewhere, but I don't listen. I just and let me go back to basically the point of the story that I wanted to share with you. Don't be listen. Pull yourself together. If you're interacting with somebody on YouTube and you're so mesmerized, you're so fascinated. It's this person that you're interacting with. They have you completely tantalized, and you're in some sort of a trance, and you don't don't let that play with your mind, with your senses, with your emotions, with your money, with your life, because sooner or later you're going to find yourself in really, I'm not going to say in a world of trouble, but you're going to find yourself in a very unpleasant situation. I mean, it's one thing if that happens like once, but to plan another getaway or another rendezvous with the same person that pretty much stood you up the first time, that's nuts. And the thing, and also, it's one thing if you get stood up. Let's say you both live in the same city, and you got stood up at a restaurant, or a concert in the same city, but to actually fly across the country to realize that the other party that was supposed to meet you there never actually intended to go there, that's another thing. So folks, don't please. Now, the way I would do things is, okay, so I like to travel, and if I'm like online and there's like this group and they're like, hey Jasmine, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go there, do you want to join? The way my mind works is I'm gonna say, okay, we'll tell you what, I will travel there, but I'm gonna treat that trip as a solo trip, meaning I'm gonna go there. I'll do my own arrangements, my ticket, whatever. I'll coordinate the trip as if I was just going by myself. Then once I'm there, I'll just rendezvous. I'll just link up with the rest of the group, the team, the rest of the gang. That's over there. If 5 people show up, fine. If 10 people show up, fine. If nobody shows up, fine. Because in my mind, how I organized the trip, I was just going there, just a solo trip. That's how I much prefer to do things, because I'm the type of person that when it comes to traveling, I whether it's flying or road trip, it's just I just don't. I'm not going to call it an outright aversion, but I just don't fancy the idea of delegating to someone, relying on someone to take care of something else that has the potential to affect me. No, and let me be very specific. Let's say there's a group, and the group is planning to go to somewhere in Canada or somewhere in Europe or whatever, and part of that trip involves getting on, let's say, a train, or getting on some sort of a hired transportation. I am not comfortable with an idea that someone else in the group may be delegated to taking care of the train tickets, the bus tickets, whatever, once we're out there in the middle of nowhere. I'm not very comfortable with that, because what if they overlooked something? What if they what if they purchased the wrong tickets or whatever, and we're out there? in a foreign country, and now we're stuck and all that. So I just don't like that feeling. And trust me, I am a very thorough person when it comes to like traveling and so forth. I plan in advance, and I will dedicate time to combing through everything, making sure everything is on point. And so that's just not like, so when it comes to like traveling, I will do things like I'm a solo traveler, and I'll just meet you there. I'll meet you at the destination. Do your own thing. I'll just meet you there. The other thing also is, and this is why I like traveling alone. Sometimes I will, let's say for example, I plan a trip to Thailand, and I originally wanted to be there for a week, but let's say I plan a trip to Thailand, and I plan to be there for just a week. There's a pretty good possibility that I may extend that week into 2 weeks. And if I'm traveling alone, I can easily do that. That's not a problem. But if I'm traveling with a group, and we kind of have our plans intertwined and everything all, woven together, well, that's going to be like, you're going to have that situation where, you're going to have other people to think about, and you're going to feel that those pressures and so forth. And so I just don't want to deal with that. So back to that YouTube story. Some people were theorizing that the reason why Detroit wanted to take that conversation offline was because if it had stayed online, or if it was publicized, like, hey, we're going to LA, this and this and this and this and that date, the discerning of the audience, which there are a lot, would have jumped on that, and they would have stopped, basically. They would have stopped that trip, basically. Because that guy Virginia, again, he's a very sweet person. I enjoy a lot of his commentary. But he's too trusting. He is just too trusting. I may have to take back the word simpleton. I may have to take that back, because that may be a little bit too harsh. I will say he is just too trusting. And in the day and age that we live in, that kind of trusting personality, that kind of trusting approach to people, to things, that may work in a small town where everyone knows one another, and the pressure to be at your best is high. But in a big city, in a large, wild west internet world that we have today, being too being too gullible, that's gonna get you in a whole world of trouble. That's gonna get you in a whole world of trouble. Like, you never really, like, for example, if somebody leaves you a nice comment, or let me rephrase it, if somebody leaves you a really nasty, super nasty, vile, profanity-filled, hate-filled comment under your video, and you obviously take care of that, you remove it and so forth, and you block the person, who's to know? How would you know that the next person that then leaves you a really nice comment, super nice, super supportive comment, is that exact same person? Or reverse it. Who's to say that the person that's been leaving you really nice comments will not jump on another subscriber page, then leave you a nasty comment? So when it comes to the YouTube stuff, the online world stuff, of course we're humans and we're gonna react according to what we see, what we read. But in the back of your mind, you gotta be prepared. You gotta think those necessary thoughts to protect yourself. Uh, and I've said this before, and it's definitely worth repeating. And it is definitely worth encouraging others to adopt this strategy. To be more specific, when I'm online, I like to maintain. I like to keep a mile long distance between me and people online. Now, my best friends that are online that I have on my Facebook, that's a different story. We have an entire group chat. Of course, we also have individual chats, but we also have an entire group chat where we dump all of our thoughts in it, and we giggle back and forth and such and such. But for like everyday people, don't get me wrong. I love and appreciate the pleasant back and forth that I have with people online, with my subscribers, my supporters, and other YouTubers that I like watching. I appreciate all of that. Don't get me wrong. And I'm sure the sentiments are shared, likewise by others. But I would be doing myself a disservice if I do not maintain some sort of distance, some sort of safety gap. And this is something that I would encourage everyone. Even if I like you, even if you're a YouTuber and I absolutely love watching you, I would still tell you, listen, even though we're really cool online, I've never met you, you're a complete stranger, I only met you on YouTube, even though we're pretty cool online, I still want you to maintain a distance, between us, just as I want to maintain a distance between you. Because, and there's a phrase called the law of average. If when you're online on YouTube, eventually, that kind of networking, the interaction, the good back and forth, good exchanges, you're gonna naturally, you may start seeing yourself as a people's, you're personable, you're relatable, you have this thing going on where you can connect with people, and you're going to find yourself trying to connect with other people. And where the law of average comes in is, sooner or later, if you do the same thing over and over again and something bad happens, if you do not protect yourself in the first place, you're going to suffer a great deal. And I'll use a construction site as an example. If somebody enters a construction zone and they don't have their hard hat on, and they become comfortable with that, knowing that in a construction site something could fall and hit you, sooner or later you average it out. Sooner or later, a construction accident may happen. A bolt from a seventh floor may fall down, and if you're not wearing your hat, you're gonna get hit in the head. So on YouTube, if you don't create this distance, if you get too close to people, eventually you will come close with a monster online, and they're gonna take you for a ride. They're gonna have a field day with you. They're going to make your life a miserable world. But see, if you keep a distance, like if I'm super cool with you on YouTube, I'm still going to keep a distance. I'm not going to tell you where I work. I'm not going to tell you where my favorite exactly where my favorite restaurant is. I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to tell you the names of my best friends. I'm not going to tell you the names of my siblings. I'm not going to tell you anything that's private, because if I start doing that with everyone that I interact with online, the 10th person the 15th person, the 20th person that I may divulge personal information to may turn out to be a nutcase. The next thing you know, they're doxing you, they're stalking you and all of that stuff. And that stuff really does happen. That stuff really does happen. So you got to be careful. You got to be very, very, very careful. And don't be gullible online. Don't you gotta ask questions. If it's some, we've all heard of that phrase. If it's too good to be true, it probably, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. So just be very careful online. Like a trip like that Detroit and Virginia were planning to go in Los Angeles. Any discerning individual would have picked apart that in a second or so. They would have asked the proper questions and so forth. This cup is hot. I mean, this heater is like seriously, I mean, like really good. And I actually even had to because I have a really big desk here, so I have the heater, the coffee mug heater. I actually had to buy a whole tray underneath it because it gets so hot that it kind of heats the table. So I just wanted to remark on that. And let me tell you, listen, there are these videos, and now I think I caught one a few years ago, these prank videos. But let me tell you, lately I've been watching, the way YouTube works is if you like watch a video and you watch a few of them, YouTube will then start like recommending a lot of the same videos. So they're called Bushman pranks. Essentially what it is, it's some clever and entrepreneurial individual, because the reason why they put this online is just so they can get the views and make money, which is, I gotta tip my hat to them. So let's say some clever, humorous individual would dress himself as a plant and with probably like an orange dangling, or some kind of fruit, something that will draw your attention. And as you're walking by, just like, and they would stage themselves in like touristy areas, a lot of foot traffic rather. So folks will be walking by just completely unaware of what's about to jump in their face. Oh my goodness, the reactions are just out of this world hilarious. I mean, you're talking about somebody that may be like in a completely relaxed physical, they're just relaxed emotionally, mentally. And they're just enjoying a nice walk, solo or with a group. And all of a sudden you have this plant that springs to life. Of course, that's going to take you, that's going to startle you. And it is so incredibly funny. You should check those out. All right, folks. So, oh dear, let me wrap this commentary up. So I'm going to end this. I'm going to watch some YouTube videos, and then I'm going to go out. I got to swing by. I gotta swing by the grocery store. Let's see, what else do I have to do? I'm gonna swing by the grocery store, and I may swing by the garden section of Home Depot. There's something that I'm looking for. And yes, I will be looking into that live stream. So, all right, everyone. So with that said, don't forget to hit the like button if you have not. And if you're new to the channel, I hope that you would consider hitting that subscribe button. And I will see you in the next upload. All right, take care. Bye-bye.